Questo episodio ci porta nel cuore di una metropoli da 8 milioni di abitanti, una delle città più affascinanti, animate e raccontate nella storia dell'uomo. Scelta da Hollywood come cornice di migliaia di film, il fascino della Grande Mela è davvero incredibile. Camminando per le sue strade, con i grattacieli a farle da cornice e bandiere a stelle strisce ad ogni angolo, e queste avenue immense, si viene davvero travolti dalla maestosità di questo luogo. Ma la cosa che più mi affascina personalmente è il melting pot di culture che si incontra. Ogni anno milioni di persone provenienti da tutto il mondo arrivano a New York con la speranza di costruirsi un futuro. In America l'idea del sogno americano vive ancora e New York, nonostante i suoi eccessi e la sua complessità, è forse più di ogni altra città quella che incarna questa chimera. Tra i numerosi primati che vanta questa metropoli straordinaria ce n'è anche uno legato ai nostri amici a quattro zampe. Considerata una delle città più dog friendly del mondo, ospita oltre 600.000 cani e negli anni si è adattata offrendo sempre più servizi a loro dedicati e sviluppando una forte cultura pet friendly. Arrivato in città ero davvero curioso di scoprire le storie di alcuni newyorkesi e dei loro cani, così per incontrarli sono partito da uno dei tanti dog park.
If you want to start to introduce yourself.
Okay, my name is Hila. This is Ivy. She's a Belgian Malinois. She's 4.5 years old. She was a rescue. I think the greatest gift that I have from her is how loyal and protective she is. So her main mission it seems like, has always been to protect me, especially in such a chaotic city. So it's nice to know that she's got my right, my left, my back always protected, and I have nothing to worry about, whether walking in the streets or sleeping at night. So I think that was one of the biggest pluses to having a dog. It's a huge commitment, but she's also the greatest gift that I've ever had in my life. She comes everywhere with me work-wise. Like, she's a fashion dog. She goes to all the fabric vendors. She's met with all the stylists. She's been in all the factories, local factories in New York and LA. She sits in the sample room with all the sewers, and like, they love her. They even made her shoes.
What does the relationship with her means to you?
Oh my God, it's not even like it's something the cross between like your partner and companion, but it's also like there's like a childlike relationship with her. But I also feel like because she protects me so much that I like owe her everything. In some ways, like, it's a scary world out there, especially for single females. But having a Malinois is probably the trick to surviving.
I'm Carly. I live in New York City. I've been here for about 12 years. This is Dee. He is a pit bull husky, cattle dog, a few other things. I've had him for about a year. I rescued him and fostered him for like 8 months and then adopted him in August. So he was a foster fail.
Great choice. Why did you decide to adopt?
Yeah, so well, there's so many dogs out there that need a home. And there's so many rescue dogs that, may come from trauma, and they really rely on us as humans to help make them feel comfortable, give them a home to stay. And he's only improved with more time with me. So it's interesting because we learn a lot about fostering, but then they also teach you so much too. And he's learned a lot as well, just how to become a regular dog. But the companionship and the bond for me is really important. And I'm an animal lover, so I love all animals, but dogs especially. I've always grown up with dogs in my family, but I especially wanted to make sure that my next dog was going to be a rescue. So.
Dopo aver salutato le ragazze e lasciato l'area cani di Madison Square, mi incammino verso il quartiere di Chelsea. Ma poco più avanti incontro un ragazzo ed il suo cane che attirano la mia attenzione. Il ragazzo si chiama Eric, un nome di fantasia per tutelare la sua identità, ed il suo cane Hunter. Dopo un'iniziale diffidenza, Eric decide di raccontarmi la sua storia.
When or why or both?
Both, yeah.
When? I think it was about. I've been in New York about 15 years. Damn, has it been that long? As to why, no, I followed a woman, I followed a
Eric
girl.
viene da Baltimora, ha più o meno la mia età.
Right.
Si è trasferito a New York 15 anni fa per amore. Poi la vita ha preso una piega diversa. Un incidente, la perdita del lavoro e una serie di eventi sfortunati lo hanno portato a vivere per strada. Nonostante non abbia una fissa dimora, fa tutto il possibile per prendersi cura di se stesso e di Hunter, al quale non fa mai mancare nulla. Hunter, mi racconta, l'ha salvato da una situazione di abusi.
I rescued him 4 years ago. I rescued him through a online adoption shelter. He was abused. He has burn marks and cut marks on his belly, and
What
So
relationship do you have with him now?
well, you can see how close we are. You can tell how close we are.
Camminando insieme, Eric mi racconta cosa significa essere un senza tetto, cosa vuol dire dormire al freddo e temere di chiudere gli occhi per paura di essere derubati.
And you have to sleep.
Per fortuna c'è Hunter che veglia su di lui, mi dice.
If it wasn't for him, I would be dead. If it wasn't for me, he would be dead.
L'incontro con Eric e Hunter mi ha segnato profondamente. È una storia, la loro, che porterò nel cuore, sperando che un giorno la loro vita possa cambiare per il meglio. Dopo averli salutati, con la promessa di mandargli il video una volta terminato, mi rimetto in cammino verso Chelsea, dove avevo appuntamento con Tony, un dog walker. Ma per capire chi è Tony serve fare un passo indietro. Quella del dog walker è una figura che in Italia e più in generale in Europa non è così diffusa. Negli States invece, soprattutto in grandi città come New York, esiste da molti anni. Il dog walker è una sorta di dog sitter, ma su scala urbana. Ogni giorno passa a prendere i cani dei suoi clienti e li porta a vivere in città. Una passeggiata al parco, una corsa sulla spiaggia, a volte persino una gita fuori porta. Una specie di asilo itinerante per cani.
How long have you been doing this job, Tony?
I think like 38 years.
38.
Yeah,
Jesus Christ.
long time. When I first started, people didn't even know what a dog walker was.
Really?
And I just had a beeper, not a phone.
How you started?
I was driving a truck at night, and in the daytime I had nothing to do, and if I went to the bar and got drunk in the daytime, people would think I was a bum. So instead of going to the bar and getting drunk after work, I just went and borrowed somebody's dog, and I walked around, told everybody I was a dog walker, and I started getting more and more clients. I started out with like 4 or 5, and I stayed like that for like 10 years, and we loved it. I loved it.
How many dogs do you work per day?
I try to keep it at 15, but some days it's a little bit more. Most of the morning is picking up dogs until the afternoon, and then in the afternoon we find someplace interesting for them to have fun or to explore. We take everybody out in groups,
Okay.
and once everybody went out and went to the bathroom, had fun, got some exercise, then we start taking everybody home.
How long it takes to make a pack like this one? Like to make them go well around together?
Well, we're different from everybody else. We don't take them for just 1 hour. Before, I used to take the dogs out for 1 hour and bring them home. But then when I bring them home, they're like, and it breaks my heart. So now I just take them all day long. And when they're tired, then they go home. Then they're happy to go home.
You do such a great job for the community, I think.
Yeah, I love this.
I mean, New Yorkers have got like such a busy schedule. I think without people that do your job, they wouldn't have the time.
Those that would have to go to the bathroom in the house, maybe develop the behavioral issues and stuff like that, maybe chew things and destroy the house. But with me, we go out and we explore, we take pictures, we spread joy to everybody because everybody loves to see the dogs, and I let everybody say hello to the dogs. It makes everybody happy.
I'm Caitlin. This is Honey. We've been together since 2020. So almost 6 years. He was a COVID baby. I rescued him. He was a year and a half when I got him. He is perfect for me because I like my space. I'm very independent and he's not clingy. He's a very well-behaved dog. He's loving and affectionate, but not to an extreme. And that's what matches with me because I'm loving and affectionate, but I also need my space. I've always grown up with dogs. You know, we've had multiple at a time and we've always rescued, and it's the culture that I've always known. And I think even as a young age, it teaches responsibility and it teaches a different type of love other than yourself, which is important in life. And I decided to get one on my own for the first time because of that love. You know, it's an unconditional love. Although he drives me freaking crazy about 24 hours a day, but I love him and I always look forward to coming home to him.
Durante questo mio viaggio ho avuto modo di riflettere su come il ruolo del cane all'interno della nostra società si sia evoluto nel tempo, portando i cani a diventare veri e propri compagni di vita per le persone. Questa evoluzione appare ancora più evidente in una città come New York, incredibilmente ricca di opportunità, ma anche molto competitiva, complessa e stressante. In un contesto come questo, sapere di avere un amico sul quale poter sempre contare e del quale prendersi cura aiuta le persone a sentirsi più umane e meno sole. La città, di conseguenza, comprende la magia dei cani e riconosce il ruolo fondamentale che questi compagni a quattro zampe svolgono nella vita di tantissimi cittadini. E per questo, negli anni, gli spazi pubblici sono stati progettati per rispondere al meglio anche ai loro bisogni.